This demo, I'm going to take the fill demo and show you how to do this one from start to finish. So I got to copy it over, so I'm going to click on it and then find generative wireframe and surfacing. So it'll open up that workbench. So we'll have to give it a few minutes. Once that workbench is open, if you look at the Word doc, oh boy, what is that? If you look at the Word doc, you need a surface going in this direction and surface going in this direction. So that's just a simple extrude surface. You're going to extrude this surface, I don't know, 3 inches in the reverse direction. We'll select OK. Extrude this curve, reverse the direction. So you just saw, if you would have done it the right one first, then the left one, then you would only have to reverse one time. Now, the most common mistake I see production make is they do a fill. And they fill the surface from this boundary to this boundary to this boundary to this boundary. Select OK. I'm going to put a plane in the middle of this curve and select OK. And I'm going to do an intersect this plane. Sorry, I missed. I'm doing the intersect this plane to this surface and that surface, those two surfaces. So I should be able to hit money here. Click on this one and add that and add this, so I can do both at once. Okay, you could do it that way. I'm going to select this plane and use the intersect command to that surface and select OK, because I want to see one curve on the top. And that's this. Oh, that should have been, where is that? Here's my intersect up here on the top. And I'll do the same thing to this other surface. You got to make sure the plane is active. Intersect to that surface and say OK. Intersect that surface to, oops, I don't have a plane there. So got to go back to plane. Select this curve. Come on. Normal to curve. Grab this curve. I want to grab this curve. Normal to curve. Select OK. Intersect this one and this one. Select OK. Let's highlight these and change the properties so that they're more visible. I'll make them a purple color and we'll beef up the thickness there. Oh, well, that's just gonna blend off in that direction, so we got to do another intersect this plane to this surface. Select OK. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to go to properties and beef up the thickness. Okay, now you should be able to look without even analyzing anything. That's at an angle. This is not a smooth transition from one to the next. If I go to surface, transform and join, and I try and join this and this together. Oh, dang it. Why is it not coming up with an angle? I'm going to review connect. Oh, I don't see it here. And try and grab this and this. And do boundary curve and select G1. Should be giving me an angle. It's telling me here that there's an angle here between these two elements. Anyways, you should be able to see clearly that that's not a smooth transition. Okay, so that's not a very smooth transition, is it? When I go from here to here and then from here to here. That would be an unmachinable surface. It would be a surface that has reflections that wouldn't allow for good airflow. So you don't want to do that like I did. And a lot of people will say, don't use the fill command because it does stuff like this. But I would say that the fill command, they didn't just make a fill command to make a fill command. It has a purpose, which could be used in this scenario. I'm going to go ahead and delete that surface out. And I'm going to recreate the surface. Under fill, when I grab this curve, before I move on, it wants to know, do you have a support? Do you have anything that you want to maintain tangency on? And I don't for this case. But when I grab this curve, I want that surface I make to be tangent to this. So circle 3, I need a support. It's asking for a support right here. So I'll pick that support, and it tells me that it's going to use extrude number 3 for a support and hold tangency where the new surface is created to meet tangent to this surface. See, on this end, I don't want that because there's no way it's at an angle. There's no way that could be tangent. I'll click on this surface, and I do want tangency. I'll hit preview, select OK. And look, you can see visually the transition here. And when I go to wireframe and do an intersect, and I intersect this plane, dang it, intersect this plane to this surface, intersect this plane to this surface, and select OK, I can beef up those two things here and go to properties. I'll change that, was that purple? I'll beef up the thickness and hit apply and say OK. You can see just by looking at it, look how much smoother that transition is. Same thing over here. Look how much smoother the transition is from one surface to the next. Okay, so that fill surface that I made, that went in between these, that surface looks great. And it's holding tangency. You still got another problem. It comes down in here. So we're not going to fix that now, but what we're going to do later on in the advanced classes is to learn how to create that so it doesn't bow down into that. Later on, you're gonna in this class, you're gonna take that surface and go to that passing point. So I could always modify this surface, and for the passing point element, I can click on here, and then pick that point that they gave me and select OK. All right, yeah, that takes care of it getting concave. Now it's convex, so I don't know if that's what you really want either, but either way, notice that the surface, no matter what I did to it, holds that nice transition from one to the next. I think if I go to tools and measure between and select this line and this curve, and it gives me a 0, that means that they're adjacent, so that's a good sign. But I don't need to know that. I knew it was adjacent. I was asking for an angle, and For some reason, I don't get my angle anymore. It should have gave me, oh, there's my angle. So it did the best it can to hold the tangency. It's at an angle of 179.85, which is pretty much as accurate as you probably can get it. It should be 180 or 0 degree angle representing tangency. So that's as good as CATIA could make it. Anyways, this is a way to check it. You do your intersection curves, and then you can spot check the surface to see how well they blend together. The other way would be under surface, no, under review. This connect checker would allow you to grab a surface and grab another surface. Wait. Grab that surface. Grab those two surfaces and do a connect curve, and it tells you here that the distance between the two is a minimum 0 degree angle. Okay, and you get that here in your G1, G2, G3. If I go to G0, it tells me G0 is minimum 0, meaning that they're touching. G1 would give me the angle between the two surfaces. So you got a 0 degree angle. So that's about as good as I can get it. And then G2 gives me the angle this way. Curvature deflection. Okay. All right, so the two big hitters for you would be G0 and G1 to check how well the two surfaces are meshing. All right, hopefully that helps you out with that exercise.